Well, it looked like the Jets were going to have a comeback win to remember, but it was not to be. Gangrene, they fell to the Bucs in Tampa 29-27 in week 3. They fall to 0-3 on the season. And joining me to talk all about it is a producer at WFAN. He's also a Jets podcast host with Bilal Powell, my guy, Rami Lavi. Rami, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Thanks for having me. And yes, just another Jets week.
Just another Jets week. We're kind of running out of things to say, but we have to talk about it. We know the Jets fan is frustrated here, but Rami, the Jets heading into this game, they were 144-1 when trailing by 17 points to start the fourth quarter. They were down 23-6 today, so exactly 17 points. They came back, they took the lead, but they lost in that situation for the 145th time. Now, considering how dreadful the Jets' offense was here in the first half of this game, in your eyes, is there any moral victory for the way that this team fought back here?
I mean, yeah, we might as well call it Moral Victory Mondays, right? The first week of the season, the way it goes against Aaron Rodgers. Hey, we battled. The offense put up 32 points. Justin Fields looked great. It's a moral victory. I'm tired of the moral victories. I'm not having it anymore because guess what? The Jets put themselves in that position. The Bucs were terrible. They had all those penalties in the first half. They were trying to give the Jets the game, and the Jets were handing it right back to them. So if you don't make some of those mistakes early, if Garrett Wilson does come back for that ball that ends up being a pick six when he should have come back for it, if he does gain a couple extra yards that gets them a first down before they ultimately go for it and fail on a 4th and 1 with Braylon Allen, all those little things add up. The penalties that extend drives. How many 3rd and 9s were converted by the Bucs? So no, there's no moral victories at all because guess what? I'm tired of seeing this team find ways to lose. And if they played better in the first half, they wouldn't have been in that position where they were down 17 in the first place.
Fantastic point. And it did feel like they found a big way to lose. You talk about that swing play, the interception that was thrown at the end of the first half. That totally changed everything. You don't have that. You don't give up those 7 points there. Maybe we're talking about a different ball game, a different outcome. But I want to talk to you about the defense here, Rami, because we've seen multiple times this year the Jets defense unable to get a stop late this season when it counts. Saw that against Pittsburgh in week 1. What's your level of concern about this Jets defense right now?
The personnel's just not good enough. I mean, we saw Aaron Glenn's defense in the playoffs when he had the Lions defense, which was super banged up, and what they did against Washington, and Washington crushed them at home, and that's how he got eliminated. That's the last game he played as a defensive coordinator, or last game he coached as a defensive coordinator. Now he comes into the Jets, and he's now the head coach, and the defense looks just as bad as it looked in Detroit. So I'm pretty concerned for the Jets defense, but it's not even because of Aaron Glenn. It's just I don't trust him to overcome the personnel. Michael Clemens is still out on the field. He can't set the edge. You saw the Baker Mayfield huge run where he just runs right past him. He can never set the edge. The tackling is a major problem. Glenn keeps talking about over pursuit. That's the issue. Maybe they should bring in Jeff Ulbrich to do another tackling demonstration that he did for them in like week 14 last year. I don't know if you remember that because this team still can't tackle. It's a new coaching staff. They're supposed to be able to tackle. Sauce Gardner's getting called much tighter than he was in the past. And how many times did he get beat by Mike Evans in this game? It was a bunch. It wasn't just a couple of times. Andre Sisco is not good enough on the back end. Brandon Stevens is not good enough. I want to see more of Malachi Moore. He made a huge tackle late in this game. We've seen some of the corners. A.Z. Thomas made a big play late in this game. I want to see more of those young guys because they need to earn it. And the older guys, the veterans, Michael Clemens, Andre Sisco, Brandon Stevens, they're just not getting it done right now.
Rami, these are rough times when you're talking about bringing back Jeff Ulbrich here to do tackling drills. That is not necessarily what you might want to do. They need it, though. Tackling has not been good. You're right about that. Not been good. You're just looking for some hope wherever you could find it. But how do you evaluate the offense today, right? Led by Tyrod Taylor, engineered the comeback, threw for 2 scores here, also did have that pick that we mentioned earlier. Does Taylor deserve another opportunity under center, or should the team go back to Justin Fields in week 4 if he's cleared with the concussion protocols? What do you say about that? Justin Fields, we know he's named the starter, but Tyrod wasn't too bad here today. What do you think? Should they go back to Fields, or should they keep Tyrod Taylor under center?
We know what Taylor's ceiling is. He's kind of confined, right? He is who he is. We know what his floor is also. He's got a higher floor than Justin Fields. He's got a lower ceiling. We know what we're going to get. There's going to be a level of consistency. If this was a team that now they were 1-2 or 2-1 and they were trying to win football games, maybe I would say stick with Taylor. But I think this season we're still trying to figure out what they have, if they have anything in Justin Fields. Week 1 looks like they really did have something. Week 1, obviously, week 2, we know obviously how that goes where they don't have anything in him. So to me, I think they need to still learn what they have in Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor, again, we know what he can get them. He's got a ceiling. He can keep them in games. He could be a game manager. I actually thought this was a learning moment for Tanner Eggstrand, the offensive coordinator, because he went away from the run too quickly. If the Jets had run the ball in the third quarter, because they could have tried to run the ball, they wouldn't have put Tyrod in such bad situations where he was forced to throw it into some tough spots. But they stopped running the ball after they got down big. I think he should have known that he had more time, and that's something that a young first-time offensive play caller will get to learn over time. To answer your question, though, it's a coin toss for me. They're so similar. I still think you go for the higher ceiling and a guy that is younger and you want to learn what he has in Justin Fields.
No, that's fair. You got to see what you have in Justin Fields. This is definitely about that this season. You also want to see how this team can bounce back from this 0-3 start. And this is where we're going to go lastly, because we know the Jets are off to this 0-3 start. Rami, what's your concern level with this team right now under Aaron Glenn, who was trying to come in here and change the culture, and what do they need to do in order to get a win next Monday night in Week 4 against the Dolphins?
Well, I said there's no moral victories. The second half did calm some of my nerves because I was very concerned after the first half about Aaron Glenn in particular, because we've heard all week him talk about how we're going to be tougher and we're going to tackle better and we're going to be a different team where we're disciplined. And then in the first half, they keep making these mistakes. They seem unprepared. I talked about all the miscues they had early on that were mental errors. That's a team that's not ready to play. And then he's yelling at them on the sidelines. It's one thing if you're yelling at them on the sidelines when you know they're ready to play, but if they're not ready to play, that's on you. That's on you, the head coach, and now you're yelling at them. How quickly does a team that's losing games and getting reamed out on the sidelines, but a coach who doesn't have them prepared, gonna lose that coach, right? Is he gonna lose their ear? Is he gonna lose the locker room in his first year as a Jets head coach? I thought the second half was telling that they came out and battled for him, down a couple of players with a couple of injuries. Quincy Williams, who was incredible in this game in this first half, he goes out. He's not there for the second half after a shoulder injury. So some of the things that they were able to do in the second half tells me that, no, they're still battling for this guy. I know it's early, but I am still fearful that if they're not ready to play and he's reaming into them like that, it could end up wearing on these players and he could lose the locker room. But as of today, based on the second half, no moral victory, but based on the second half, at least he's not losing the room yet.
All right, not losing the room yet. We'll see if they can bounce back next week against the Dolphins on Monday night. That's the Jets' opponents for Week 4. That is Rami Lavi. Check him out, producing for WFAN, also doing a lot of great Jets content out there. He hosts a podcast with Bilal Powell. More news coming on that soon, as you guys will know. Rami, always a pleasure to talk some Jets football with you. We'll do it again soon.
Appreciate you, Dex. Thank you.